Hi guys, so very interesting subject today, body types and fashion eras. We're not gonna assign each body type to a certain era, but instead we just analyze some of the elements of different decades of the 20th century, just for the sake of understanding that more and understanding the key types and body types more. If you're new, I'm gonna leave the link on my body types playlist down below. So if we go a little bit before 1920s, so for a long time we had waist emphasis. This stands for romantic type, right? So waist emphasis by itself, light fabrics, feminine silhouette, hourglass silhouette, different ruffles and drapings, that all stands for yin type of lines, meaning romantic, soft, rounded, and feminine. I would say in those times it was mostly romantic or soft classic type sometimes when it wasn't overloaded with ruffles and stuff. When it was more clean in shape and didn't have loads of addition to that. So 1920s. So this war situation changed a lot. As you know, it's the first time when women started wearing pants. Women started wearing straight dresses without any waist emphasis. They started to cut their hair shorter. So let's look closer on those pictures of the 20s. See, here we can see definitely kind of a dramatic silhouette. Straight lines, first of all. Long vertical line. Almost head to toe black color, right? So we can see straight silhouette. It doesn't have any waist emphasis. It doesn't have all those rounded details, ruffles and stuff. The dress itself is very clean. She has very long necklace, V-shape. It gives us another dramatic silhouette. Small hat that keeps its shape. All that stands for drama, dramatic. Now, let's look at this picture. So these ladies are not dramatic types. They look slightly smaller, they look softer. Look at what they're wearing. The pattern on their clothes is very stripy. So all those stripes, again, stands for dramatic type. No waist emphasis. Contrasted trim. Again, all that stands more for dramatic type of clothes. You can also see V-shaped necks. Those small hats, they're rounded, yeah, they keep its shape. They look more like gamins hats. Now here we have some bulky silhouette, slightly unconstructed, so we don't see that narrow vertical line anymore. That doesn't have very tailored and certain shape. So in this case, probably that looks more like flamboyant natural. Something natural here is going on. Now on this picture we can see more gamine silhouette because it's narrow, it's short, it still keeps its shape, it's pretty tailored, it has small pattern, right? It's also important. Small hat that has those sharp elements on the sides. Short hair. Everything looks slightly tiny, short, smallish looking. So basically, yeah, there is a lot of drama in the outline of it all. But still it looks slightly gaminish because it's shortened and smallish. So this is the time when women started trying on those men's suits on them. So we can see also some gamine silhouettes in there. They were in tie, men's jackets, men-like hats, high boots, men's pants, and men's shirt. It actually looks very dramatic. However, those women that are sitting on the bench, I think their type is not dramatic. I think they're smaller. Maybe soft gamine or gamine, something like that. Now look at that. Again, we can see women trying men's clothes or boys' clothes. That's kind of like that 20s tomboy style. These outfits don't look too dramatic necessarily, even though they're like men's clothes, because the outfit itself consists of many blocks. Short torso, higher waist, then we have pants up to the knees, then we have those long socks, and then they go to the shoes. So everything is blocked and everything is cut and everything looks slightly shorter. That normally stands for gamine type, but actually not all of the 20s silhouettes are dramatic or gaminish type. I found this picture, it's also from the 20s, and you can see more feminine silhouettes in there. They have some drapes and frills. They have rounded collar. They have rounded silhouette in the head. So I think that's more of a romantic or theatrical romantic going on here. This is also 20s and she does look like soft gamine a little bit to me. Sleeves are rounded but they keep its shape. It has some contrast, that polka dot, that black and white. Her hair is curly and pretty short, however it's very like doll-like and very feminine, and her shoes are also slightly pointed but with thicker heel. To me, the lady herself and her outfit looks very soft gamine. Interesting detail in the 20s that I noticed is that small head kind of a thing. They cut their hair short, they made them very sleek so they would be able to wear those small hats, and sometimes the hats were so tiny so it made the head look super tiny and sleek, especially in the contrast with those furs. Sometimes they were wearing furs here and something bigger and wider here on the bottom. Let's go to the 30s now. A lot of changes happened in the 30s. As you can see, we are back to that feminine silhouette more. But that femininity wasn't very sexy. It just was very feminine and pretty modest looking. Their hair was very romantic looking. Curls, rounded curls, nothing tousled. Their hair got longer, more feminine again. On these two pictures, very soft classic look, I would say. Pretty feminine, but not over the top. Everything is pretty symmetrical. Symmetry and femininity at the same time. This is soft classic. On this picture, I would say romantics, soft classics, right? Pretty feminine, not too many details. They were not obsessed with all those accessories. Everything was quite simple. It was simply made clothes. We can see that waist emphasis. We can see some draping here that also stands for more romantic look. Not anymore of that straight vertical line here. Here you can see some drama added to the look. You can see that constructed jacket, for example. This woman looks tall. She looks strong. They chose that kind of angle so she would look taller. Those two dresses, I would definitely say classic or soft classic. Again, very simple, minimal details, very symmetrical, waist emphasis, pretty closed here, not overly sexy. Let's go to the 40s. So narrow feminine silhouette again. And look at that cute woman. She looks like soft gamine or maybe gamine to me. She has very soft and feminine hair, like a doll-like hair or a little girl hair. And at the same time, she has that tomboy, boyish suit. That suit is very gamine. Remember when we talked about the 20s? It's cut into blocks. That vertical line is broken, so that's very gamine-like. Look at this picture. We see summer dresses, pretty relaxed silhouette, pretty natural, soft natural silhouette. Waist emphasis again, slightly rounded hairstyles, rounded glasses. We already have some frills in here. We have some frills on skirts. So that leads us to more romantic types, to softer types. That lady to me looks very soft dramatic. Dramatics also can look pretty good in that kind of coat. Stiff, tailored, keeps its shape, sharp shoulders, sharp collar, pretty long, and moderate size asymmetrical hat. But I would say dramatic classics also would look amazing in that, and maybe classics too. On this picture, you can see pretty simple dress, pretty feminine. It has some romantic folds, some pattern. It's still holding back a little bit. I would say soft classic, and actually you can see those more powerful shoulders. That adds a bit of drama and a bit of power to that silhouette. I would go for soft gamine for that one. Contrasted pattern, color blocks. Everything is slightly shortened and kind of brought up. High-waisted here, high collar, shorter skirt. Everything keeps its shape. Everything is quite feminine at the same time. Beautiful rounded hairstyle and very cute and contrasted yet very doll-like shoes. 50s, women started undressing a little bit. In the 50s, men got home from war. Women had to be very feminine and beautiful and attract their attention. So femininity and sexiness is the point of the 50s. I would say the majority of pictures that I've seen are closer to romantic or theatrical romantic type. So we can see that waist emphasis, right? Women started showing their body more. So Christian Dior made that type of dress. It became even more feminine, even more sexy, even more romantic looking. With a bigger skirt, the waist looked even smaller. This woman is at home, cooking. Femininity is the point of the 50s, so we are staying somewhere in the romantic area. This is a Hong Kong woman. Very theatrical romantic, I would say. Those small, delicate and upturned glasses. Curly and glamorous hair. Look at that narrow hourglass dress. Keeps its shape, but very feminine at the same time. Look at how women posed at that time. They had to attract attention of men. Look at that. Again, pretty narrow silhouettes. Maybe for classics, soft classics, maybe for dramatic classics, something like that. They started having those bras with sharpened ends. Many women put some pads on their bras just to make their breasts look bigger, and so their waist would look even smaller. This one looks pretty soft gamine to me. Very rounded, doll-like. She's very cute looking, and she has that contrasted collar that is very high. So I think the outfit itself is very close to soft gamine. Her hair also short, slightly wavy and slightly tousled. Now that is a famous picture. I think very theatrical romantic stuff. She looks short, pretty narrow hourglass, that tulip skirt, waist emphasis again, opened and very sensual neck area here, and pretty delicate and compact sleeves, and this is her from another angle, and you can see that sexy element. So we can see that cut on the skirt on the side, so we can see her leg that is showing from there and teasing. And here her jacket is pretty like sharp and delicate looking, but it's slightly opened here. That's her from the back. 60s. In the 60s, things changed again to a more tomboy look. I would not call it drama, yeah, the outfits became more constructed. We can see costumes, we can see shorter skirts, shorter dresses, we can see fabrics that is pretty stiff, we can see those trapeze skirts, right? So look at those girls. So basically, romantic part and dramatic part are both presenting there. At the first look, they look very feminine, cute, they have rounded hair, waist emphasis, you can see some of their forms, you can see their legs, the skirts become shorter. But at the same time, everything is very constructed. We start having geometry there. So that geometry gives us more drama. Eye makeup, for example, is very bright eyeliner. It's not like in the 50s. In the 50s, that was very glamorous. The lines were thinner. And in the 60s, no, it was much bolder. Like that hair that is very constructed, that you can see from the distance. They liked to wear those straight bangs, for example. So those shorter skirts, trapeze skirts. Also, we don't see that much of a waist here. Everything is kind of shortened, pretty straight, narrow silhouette and keeping its shape. So the outfits themselves are more for gamines, soft gamines and stuff. But many of them, they had very huge hair. They backcombed their hair so they would be super rounded and super full looking and voluminous. So that kind of hair looks amazing on soft dramatics. So that's very interesting combination from my viewpoint. That is more of that Jacqueline Kennedy style. Very modest, quite feminine but not super sexy dresses. I would go for dramatic classic. Jacqueline Kennedy was dramatic classic. So those outfits with that very constructed hair, very constructed clothes, something that is quite feminine but not too much, not very big, not very small, pretty balanced. So I would go for classic for those ones. Audrey Hepburn, she was a flamboyant gamine, right? So all those color blocks, shorter skirt, again, brighter eyes, very constructed, very contrasted looks. All that is flamboyant gamine. I would say this dress is also pretty flamboyant gamine or gamine to me. It's pretty narrow in shape, it's pretty short, it has long sleeves, it has small collar that is pretty high here, and also it has stripes. So it's kind of drama, but shortened drama. That is ladies, as you can see. Again, pretty flamboyant gamine style. We can't say that they look like dramatics because it has some color blocks in there, shorter pieces of clothes, and they have something irregular going on in there. They have something like I don't care style also. Those pants are shorter. So overall, it's pretty flamboyant gamine-ish style. There's a bit of everything in there. Also, you can check the poses. They don't stand like that anymore, like super feminine and sexy and kind of teasing. They're pretty flamboyant gamine poses, and what I mean by that, Twiggy is a flamboyant gamine, and she became very famous in the 60s. So many people started looking at her as an example. They started copying her. Their poses become very playful, very boys-like. And again, you can see those color blocks, those constructed things, and you can see shorter pieces. And again, that stands for more gamines, flamboyant gamines. Another very interesting example, there is a subculture. They were rockers in the 60s, and this girl is wearing leather jacket, but her hair is more soft dramatic. It's much more glamorous looking, and nowadays if a little woman goes like that, if she's, let's say, pretty bony and skinny, or she's pretty short, so when she does that hair, she would look slightly funny. If a woman is soft dramatic, if she's tall and she's feminine and lush, if she wears that hair, it would look pretty good on her. Another flamboyant gamine style from my viewpoint. Mishmash of everything. Not too girly, not too boyish at the same time. And again, color blocks and some men's elements. Again, very gamine-ish looks, right? Gamine, soft gamines. Normally in the magazines, they went for more classic looks, more expensive looks, what they considered to be expensive at that time. You can see women here are pretty tall, so they look more feminine, more adult, more dramatic classic. That is also 60s, and actually soon we're gonna go to the 70s and you will understand why. We can start seeing that natural look.